Hello and welcome back to the show. I haven't done anything in a while because really I was busy like the last week or so. But today I'm just going to basically talk about games that I played on the PS2 and games that I loved when the PS2 was big shit. They had the Xbox out, you had Halo, you had fucking Onimusha and all the great titles that came out in the early 2000s and stuff like that. So, just gotta talk about, it's not my top 10 or anything, but it's some of the best games that I thought, they were fantastic back in the day. First off the list is Capcom's Clock Tower. Now, this game came out in 2003, I think it was. It was a year before Resident Evil. Wasn't it a year before Resident Evil 4? But it's basically a survival horror. You play as this girl called Alyssa, and she comes home from school. She gets a mysterious letter from her mother saying that not to come home and stuff like that, and all this weird shit starts happening. But in the game, you have no weapons. You don't have any weapons. There's like these monsters that chase you around and shit. Then you have like this panic meter. And the panic meter, when that goes up, like you start to freak out, hallucinate and stuff. This kind of reminds me of what they did with Eternal Darkness in a way. When your sanity meter goes up, weird shit starts to happen and stuff like that. But it's kind of different than this. When you panic, you just fucking run around in circles and then you get your ass whooped by the monsters. But yeah, this is one of my favorite games on the PS2. Clock Tower 3 by Capcom. I fucking love this game. Next on the list, everyone fucking knows this, God of War. It was kind of like a Devil May Cry kind of game, but would you say Devil May Cry? Well, it's an action adventure, but it's really cool. I remember when I got this years ago, I was just like, holy shit. Me and my cousin Dave, I remember he used to play it, and there was like I think it was this one, where there was like a wall with loads of spikes or shit like that. I couldn't get up for the life of me. And my cousin Dave was just like, oh, give us a shot of that. He takes it off me and he gets up to the wall. But it was a fantastic game for its time. And even the God of War games now, I didn't clear Ascension that was released on the PS3 there not too long ago. I think it was about 2-3 years ago. I haven't cleared Ascension yet, but Ascension's like a prequel to this. I've cleared all the other God of Wars and I have the HD collections there as well. So God of War 1 really brought out that kind of action, that really good action adventure games. And God of War on the PS2. Soul Reaver 2 was another fantastic game. I remember when I got this, I played the first Legacy of Kain game on the PS1 years and years before this. When I was a kid, it was like a top-down kind of thing where like you play as this vampire and it's set around a place called Moscow, and it's like vampires and Seraphan lords, like basically priests that like kill vampires and stuff like that. But you play as a guy called Kain in the original Blood Omen Legacy game. Blood Omen was called, and then they came out with Soul Reaver on the PS1, which was brilliant. It was the second entry into the Legacy of Kain series, but Soul Reaver 2 really stepped it up a notch with the puzzles and the exploration. The graphics were fantastic for its time. I think it was like it came out very close to the launch of the PS2 back in 2001. You play as Raziel, and it's just basically continuing the story after Soul Reaver 1 ends. And this for me it was brilliant, and it just tested your mind with the puzzles and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. If none of you guys check this out, you should actually see if you can pick up a copy. You can get it pretty cheap these days. Actually, check out all of the Legacy of Kain games for fuck's sake. Actually, stay away from Blood Omen 2. It's got nothing to do with the story, and it's all over the place. I didn't like it. Next one on my list. I'm big into Japanese things and ninjas and stealth, anything stealthy as well. So I love Tenchu Wrath of Heaven was fantastic on the PS2. I remember getting this off a guide on old, and this is still his copy. I've had this since like fucking 2004 or something like that. What was it? Yeah, around 2004. I got a loan of this actually off the guy, and I completely forgot about it. And I was digging through all my old games there a few years ago, and I was just like, holy shit, I still have this game on him. I was like, oh fuck me, man. But that was 10 years ago. Holy shit. Oh well, I told him I had it a few years ago, and he's like, oh, you can keep it, you know, whatever. But yeah, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven was probably one of the best entries into the series after 2. 2 is still my favorite in the Tenchu series 2 on the PS1. But we're talking about the PS2 games now, so Wrath of Heaven was brilliant. You play as 3 ninjas, and it's set right after the first Tenchu. And Ricky Maru isn't dead, and because remember at the end of the first one, he fights Lord Mayo, and Mayo just the whole thing just caves in, and Ricky Maru is supposedly dead, but he returns back from the dead. Ayane is in it as well, the female ninja from the first 2, and there's a new guy called Tesu. He uses all these kind of weird pins and stuff like that. Like it goes into the X-ray. You ever see Mortal Kombat? The X-ray of Mortal Kombat. It's kind of like that. Like with the stealth kills, it goes in like an X-ray. You see like the pin going into the guy's neck and stuff. The Tenchu was fantastic. Another Capcom classic. Shadow of Rome. I remember when this came out. Holy shit. Me and the guy around the corner, Dean, came out in 2004. 10 years ago. Holy Jesus. Makes me feel old. Remember when this came out? I picked it up for actually I waited a few months because it was so expensive. I got it for like €30 or €25 game years ago when game used to be like, it was called like GameStop here in Ireland. It's not here anymore, it's only in the UK. I picked this up a few months after its release, but I remember when I got it, me and the guy around the corner, Dean, we used to always stay in his caravan, and we played this all the time. It was so hard, it was really hard. Okay, you want to know about the game, obviously. You play as a guy called Agrippa. His father is blamed on killing Julius Caesar during you are aware of Roman times, obviously, but it's set in 44 BC Rome, and Julius Caesar is at the top of his command, and he's the ruler of Rome. And Agrippa's father, the main character in the game, Agrippa's father gets blamed on the murder of Julius Caesar, and basically is Agrippa comes back from the war with the barbarians, and he joins the gladiatorial. He joins the gladiators because if the winner of the gladiators gets to decide the fate of the murder of Julius Caesar, and he wants to kind of step up and say, "Here, it wasn't my father." And there's another guy in it. He's kind of an annoying character called Octavianus, and Octavianus's missions are they're not combat based or anything. They're more sneaky, stealthy kind of things. You can like drop banana skins, and people go flying on banana skins, and they're beating people on the back of the head with pots and stuff and shit like that. But it's so fucking violent as well. You can like chop people's arms off and legs off, and beat them with their own arms and their own legs and their own heads even. And even some of the enemies actually piss themselves when you're killing them, obviously, and they're so scared that they actually piss themselves. It's fucking brilliant. Well, it's quite disturbing, but it's a fucking fantastic game. I love Shadow of Rome. Next up on my list is Terminator Dawn of Fate. Terminator Dawn of Fate was an amazing game for its time. Not many people know about it, not many people played it, but I remember playing it a lot. I love this game. I cleared it a few times, and it's basically, the story is, it's set before Terminator 1, so it's a prequel story, and you play as Kyle Reese and his team of guys, and they're trying to break into Skynet and figure out a way to get Kyle Reese back through time to protect Sarah Connor. But there's another story in it as well. There's a guy that like works on Kyle Reese's team, and he's a bit of a strange one. But I remember the combat in it was fluid, and the music was great. I love the music. The fucking soundtrack was done by Fear Factory, if I'm correct. Fear Factory did some of the soundtracks for it, and I don't think many people played this game. But I remember I loved this game. I really did. Alright. Next one is sci-fi fucking nut here. Predator Concrete Jungle. This game was brilliant. It's actually still okay now to this day. Like I played it there recently, and the combat is a bit clunky now, obviously, because it's old now. It came out in 2005, so it came out like near the end of the PS2, before the Xbox 360 came out. It came out around that time. And I remember when it came out, it was like, oh my god, a Predator game where you can actually, like, you know, play as the Predator in third-person perspective and go around and just like skin people alive and hang people upside down, and you get to use your glaive, and you get all the different visions and stuff like that. You get your heat vision and your infrared vision. You know what I mean? Fuck off. But I remember the game being really violent as well. It was pretty hard as well. It gets very hard further on into it. But you're basically playing as this Predator, and he leaves evidence of his presence on Earth back in the 1920s or 1930s or something like that. And a lot of predators come down, higher ups, come down and take him away. And they banish him to this planet for like 100 years or something like that. And so he returns in like 2030, everything's advanced and stuff like that. It's really good. I loved it. Sierra, I think that was the publisher, but it was made by Eurocom. I don't think Eurocom do much anymore, but I remember playing this game and I loved it. I really did. Yeah, Predator Concrete Jungle. Another game that I just put a lot of time into, just because of the ragdoll physics. I remember when this game came out, the ragdoll physics were mind blowing. And I think there was another game on the Xbox. On the original Xbox, it was called Pariah or something like that. I remember these two games kind of came out around the same time. They had the same ragdoll physics, and I was like, holy shit, man! Like you're picking people up with telekinesis and fucking throwing everyone around the place, and you have a remote viewing as well, where you can like leave your body and walk around and see scout what's ahead and stuff like that. The game was really far ahead of its time. It was a third-person kind of shooter, but the fighting is so funny. Like you hit someone a dig, like a punch, and you just go flying backwards and stuff. I love this game. Especially, I just love telekinesis, picking people up and throwing them at each other and stuff like that. Psyops are so funny. Me and a guy called Dean lived around the corner. We used to play this a lot as well. We had it on the original Xbox, but I don't know where that copy's gone. So I have it on PS2 now, but it's from Midway, if all you're wondering what it is. Mortal Kombat. So yeah, but this game is brilliant. The story's pretty deep. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but alright. Psyops. Silent Hill 2. One of the best survival horror games out there. It really was. Silent Hill 2 really stepped up the game. I remember Resident Evil was kind of dying down. All the hype about Resident Evil, and I remember when the first Silent Hill came out, it was like, oh my god, Silent Hill is so much creepier than Resident Evil. Oh yeah, you've hardly any weapons, and the monsters are so creepy and stuff. And I agree, because the monsters were the design of the monsters was just fantastic. I loved it. Particularly playing with a guy called James, and he gets a message from his wife, and his dead wife, saying come to Silent Hill or something like that. And I remember this game was so eerie. Holy shit. I remember there was a part in it, you go into the hotel, I think it was the hotel, and you go into a room and there's like two sets of legs, I think there's like women, and they're like trying to stuff each other into a sink or something like that. It looks like fucking riding each other or something like that, but fuck man. This game is pretty fucking scary. Not the scariest game I've ever played, but it's scary. Silent Hill 2, for sure, was one of my favourite games on the PlayStation. Not so much Silent Hill 3. I don't know why, I just never really got into Silent Hill 3. Silent Hill 1 and 2, yes. Silent Hill 3, okay. Silent Hill 4, no, I hated the room, I fucking hated it. Alright, another game, me and my friends used to always play this. We'd be like, oh, let's have a tournament, oh yeah, fucking... I don't know when this came out, 2005, wasn't it? 2004? I remember it was in the arcade, it was this I played a lot. There's an arcade in town in Dublin City. It's called Dr. Quirky's, and I remember when they first got the Tekken 5 machine in, I was there every weekend. I just used to play Tekken 5 all the time. I wasted so much money on it too, and I remember they give like little cards and stuff like that, just like to hold your profile on a card or something like that. I remember Tekken 5 had the biggest roster of characters, well, before Tekken 6 at the time, and I remember it had an arcade mode in it, and the arcade mode had Tekken 1, 2 and 3, but they're the arcade versions, but they still play pretty good. And there was another mode in it called Devil Within mode, where you're playing as Jin, and he's trying to find Ogre, because Ogre killed his mother or something like that. He used to pick Steve all the time. Steve, fantastic. Brian Fury, yes please. I remember when Paul used to play this as well. Paul Fagan, oh my god. He was so good at Tekken. He used to kick my ass. Mostly he used to kick my ass, but he's probably one of the best players I've ever played on Tekken, and Street Fighter's more my game, but Paul has Tekken. Fair play to you, Paul, you dirty bastard. Another game on my favourites would be Onimusha Warlords. And why I picked Onimusha Warlords is because it's a fantastic game. It's from Capcom. I think it was designed to be another Resident Evil game, wasn't it? Don't correct me on that. I think it was meant to be another Resident Evil game, but it's in the style of Resident Evil. It has the tank controls. It's set in feudal Japan, and you play as a guy called Samanosuke. And he comes across an Ogre Gauntlet, and the Ogre Gauntlet makes him be able to slay the demons and banish the demons and rescue the Princess Yuki, I think it was. There was another version of this on the original Xbox called Genma Onimusha. Had a few extra bits and bobs in it, and I played that more than this one. It was kind of tough though when I first played it. When I first played it, I got stuck in a water puzzle. The water puzzle at the start. I couldn't get my head around it for ages. And when I finally did, it was a breeze. After that water puzzle, the game was a breeze. So yeah, Onimusha, or Genma Onimusha on the Xbox. Sorry about that, bit of a distraction there. My last one that, well, there's a shitload more games that I could say that I like on the PlayStation 2. But the last one is Shadow of the Colossus by Team Ico. The guys that brought us Ico on, remember, a few years earlier. What can I say about this game? Like, there's so much I can say. The game is set like in this barren land, and there's a princess or something, and the only way of bringing her back to life is to kill these 16 colossi, big colossi, and they're just like roaming around the land. But I remember the game was was weird. There was no story to tell you what you were doing. Or, you know, you're in this strange land and there's all these big giant colossi walking around the place, and you have to kill them and take their soul, their essences and stuff like that. But there's really cool designs. There's flying colossi, there's weird turtle kind of colossi, and you have to kind of figure ways to climb them, and you have to find the weak points on them. And you have a horse. You have a horse in it, and he's like your best friend. Actually, probably the best graphics I've seen on the PS2 as well. I remember I bought. Hold on a second. I found it. I bought the HD collection of Ico Shadow of the Colossus. I just love this game so much. I've actually a few HD collections there, but this was amazing. A lot of people have to play it. Really, they do have to play it because it's one of these. It was like the best game of the decade, easily. Anyways, that's all I've really talked about. I'm sorry about not doing videos. I haven't done videos in a while because I've just been up to my eyeballs. I've been busy. I haven't been here in the house too much, and I'm still preparing. I'm trying to get a new microphone because the sound is pretty shit on it. And well, these are just some of my top PlayStation games. There's a fucking shitload more. There's tons of games I can talk about. But yeah, I think that's all we got time for. And this video is probably fucking long as fuck. And you're probably bored, and it's gonna take me ages to edit it. I'm gonna cut out a lot of shit that I don't like, and just awkward moments and shit like that. So yeah. Have a good day and keep the power!